Okay, so welcome to the Motivated Mummies show, where you can find inspiration, motivation, and collaboration. So today I'm here with Bonnie Williamson. So thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy day to join us. And you are a hypnotherapist from Kent. So would you like to just a little bit more about yourself?
Okay, well, my name is Bonnie. I'm a hypnotherapist just outside Canterbury in Kent. I'm married and I've got two children who are both in their 20s. Before I was a hypnotherapist, I was actually a mental health nurse. But I really enjoy being a hypnotherapist, and maybe you'll discover a bit more about it as we go along.
Fantastic. Yeah, I was so interested in it, and it's one of the things that I want to start learning. I just find it fascinating, honestly, so I'm really excited to chat with you today. So my first question is to you. What do you think is the most important thing about being a working mum?
I think it's about not trying to do everything perfectly, because you have so many competing demands, you know, because you've got to take the children to school, you've got to get them on time, you've got to get everything in the right place at the right time. You know, everybody worries about, you know, am I doing the right thing to bring up my children? Yeah. So I think it's about not being a perfectionist and realizing that you can't actually be perfect all the time. Because I think I probably did think, oh, you know, I've got to be perfect, otherwise if I you know, don't do everything right, you know, things are not going to go perfectly for my children.
Yeah.
So
I think a lot of people can relate to you with that in both family life and business, because I work with business mums and a lot of them are there spending hours on their websites or, you know, rehearsing their speeches, and I'm like, just do it. And they're like, I'm not ready. You're never going to be ready. It's never going to be perfect. Just do it.
Yeah, a bit like today. Just giving it a go.
Just give it a go, exactly. You've got nothing to lose, only things to gain, haven't you, by learning. You know, we just learn things that happen, don't we?
Well, we're learning today.
We'll always learn. I learn every single day from something. So this show is all about helping everybody, but mainly aimed at mums, to boost their mental well-being. So can you give us a top tip, especially from your background, a top tip for having good mental health?
I think I would say about keeping time for yourself, because it's really important as a mum to look after yourself. You know, that sort of healthy mum, healthy child is something that I was told loads when my children were small, and sort of the more I've got on in life, the more I thought actually that is true. So it's definitely, I would say, about looking after yourself, eating properly, getting some regular exercise, making sure that you spend time with friends and family to give yourself that positive interaction with people, positive actions, positive thoughts and positive interactions, and also taking action as well, positive actions. Yeah. So, you know, that you're going forward in your life, you know, you're not just worrying about something, you're actually taking action to make your dreams come true, really.
Yeah, this is about keep moving forward, isn't it? I know a lot of mums, especially, they feel really guilty for doing anything for themselves. It's really important, isn't it? I know it feels selfish to go out and leave your children or to prioritise yourself, but, you know, in the big scheme of things, if you don't do that, then it's your children that are going to suffer, because if your mental health goes down, then ultimately you can't be the best mum, because, you know, you can't be the most fantastic mum with bad mental health. So
because you're much more able to listen to them and be, you know, if you're relaxed and you're feeling that you can be interested in them, because that's what they need. They won't remember, you know, how much money you earned. They'll remember how happy you were, and, you know, they'll remember you as a role model, really.
Yeah, I always say that to my mum. I remember her chasing me over the park, you know, and she was like, well, don't you remember when I bought you this? Don't you remember? And I'm like, no. And she probably busted a gut to buy me those things, because she was a single working mum. And I don't remember those. I remember her chasing me, and I remember the times that we laughed and we joked, and the sense of humour that I was brought up with. So yes, it's true. We remember, don't we?
Yeah.
So
I know my kids remember things I don't remember, but I'm like, oh really? So yeah, they remember totally different things that you thought were insignificant, but at the time they were important to them. You didn't even know you did it.
And that's the thing. I often say to my ladies, ask your children. Just say to them, what do you remember? Or, what do you remember about this time? Because we think we know what they're going to say, but we really, really don't, do we?
No, we don't. We have no idea.
Yeah. So
don't know what goes through somebody else's mind, do we?
It's true. But we always think we do. We think we know what everyone's thinking. So can you just share a little bit about how you got into your new profession?
Well, as I said, I started off as a mental health nurse, but I always wanted to work as a therapist at home. And I don't know, I was just sort of thinking about what I could do, and I thought, actually, that sounds really interesting, to be able to help people to change their mindset, really. And also it does work quite quickly too. So, sort of like within kind of 8 to 12 sessions, you certainly will, think you will have come a long way. And quite a lot of people see a lot of progress within, say, 2 or 3 sessions, really. People can be feeling quite bad, quite down or quite anxious. And they notice quite a lot of change in a short period of time, which is really rewarding. I think, it's really one of the most rewarding things I've ever done, because it's so lovely to see people feeling better, feeling happier, enjoying their life more, really. So I guess I just got on it thinking, because I'd had my career a long time in the NHS, and I did everything that I wanted to do. But as my children got older, it was much easier to work at home, because they're sort of grown up now. So it is easier to sort of combine everything at home, whereas before I had to go out to work. So now it's good because I'm at home and I can manage my life well and enjoy the work that I do with my clients. So I have a much better work-life balance, because that was quite important to me as well. And also having more control, of I suppose, over what you do, so obviously you've still got to follow, got ethics that you've got to follow, and there are always rules that you have to follow in life, in order to follow the law, and, everything to do with tax and all of that to learn. So, but yeah, it's nice to be my own boss, really. I enjoy that. It's a different challenge, though, from being at work.
I was talking to a lady the other day, and we were both saying how much of a steep learning curve it has been for both of us to go into new business. I mean, I've been self-employed for about 8 years now, but this new coaching business has only been about a year, and the amount I have learned in that time is just huge. Very, very steep. It's exhausting.
Yeah, there's a lot to learn, but it's also quite exciting as well. And I think I felt I needed a new challenge, because I want to keep moving forward, enjoying my life. So yeah, it's good. It's a good challenge, isn't it, to do new things?
Yeah. Me and you are in the same boat, as in our children are grown up. So it's now we've got more time for ourselves now, haven't we? We can focus on our careers and on what we actually want to do again, So yeah, it's a great time to start a new career when the kids start getting older and flying the nest.
Yes, and they're still interested as well, and they're always asking about how I'm getting on, and so I kind of feel like I'm still being quite a good role model, but I'm not perfect, of course, because no one is.
No one is. No, you're definitely being a fantastic role model as well, because you're teaching them to just keep on going with new dreams. I mean,
yes.
What better role model can you give? So can you teach us something? Teach us something in a few minutes that we can take away with us, something to do with your hypnosis.
Okay. What sort of thing do you mean? Give me a clue.
what is something that you've learned through doing your training or your course that you take with you in life that helps you?
Okay, I think it's about actually not worrying. You know, I think we kind of go through life, and sometimes we pick up, you know, bad habits really from the people that we were brought up with. And I remember my grandmother was probably someone I picked up this habit of, that you had to worry about things for them to get better. And it took me ages to realise, do you know what? Worrying doesn't actually make them get better. So it's about really kind of thinking about what you do want to happen as opposed to what you're afraid might happen. So, you know, if you want to, I don't know, whatever change you want to make, it's about thinking about what steps you're going to take to make that happen. So it could be, you know, about increasing your exercise. You know, how are you going to do that? And you've got to set a goal that is achievable. So it might be, you know, for somebody, it might be tomorrow I'm going to go for a 10-minute walk, because that might be, you know, how they are in terms of their fitness. But for somebody else, it might be, okay, tomorrow I'm going to go for, you know, a 20-minute run or something like that. So it's about setting a goal that is right for you.
Yeah.
And as I said, thinking on the positives really. So yeah, concentrate on the positives, look for the things that are good in life, because the more you look for the good things, the more you find them. And then, because otherwise, the more you look for the bad things, the more you find them. So yeah, and actually, you know, if you practice looking at the good things, it really does make, you know, it makes life better, because you realise they're there and you start to see them more.
Yeah. And some people, they think they should be able to do it instantly like this, but have always been a pessimist, which is crazy in my profession now. But I've always looked on the worst side of things up until about 2 years ago. So it does take time to just change your mindset, but the more you do it, the more natural it becomes, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And like you say, you start looking for the positive, and you see it.
Because you might catch yourself. Yeah, because you might catch yourself doing it, you know, and obviously I was always brought up to be a pessimist, really, and but you know, I'm better at it now. I kind of go, no, you don't need to think that, Bonnie. Don't think that. No, just think this, and it's like amazing how quickly you can just move yourself on, really, from a low moment. You know, it's like, no, don't listen to that voice that says, you know, you can't do this. You know, you've got to change it around and say, yeah, but I can, and I can just do it gradually, and I just got to take the steps forward that I need to take. So this is one of my steps today, being brave, talking to you.
No, you've done amazing. You absolutely have done really fantastic. You're a natural at it. So I want to say a massive thank you very much. And where can the listeners find you? So if they've enjoyed listening to you today, where can they find you to hear some more?
Okay, well, I've got a website, which is chestnuthypnotherapy.com, and I'm on Facebook, and I'm Chestnut Hypnotherapy, so you can probably find me under Chestnut Hypnotherapy, but we can put the links on so people can find me. Yeah, so I'm there, and you can Google me, put Bonnie Williamson, Canterbury, Kent, you'll probably find me on there.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much. I'm sure our listeners have picked up some real important tips from you today. And you know what? We've done it in just over 10 minutes. So for the first session, that is boom, excellent. So well done you, well done me.
Thank you. Yeah.
So I've absolutely loved it. Thank you so much. And I will get Googling and find out more about you.
Thank you. You're welcome. Well, thanks ever so much, Sammy. I've enjoyed it.
Great.
Great fun.
Take care. Bye.
Yeah, you too. Bye.